welcome to Great O'Clock. On this special edition tonight, we have a very, very special guest, a very good friend of mine, Mr. Jason Schneider. And tonight, what we're going to be talking about is that word, people, that word that is dancing around in everybody's heads, NLP, along with TLP, yes. And how you can utilize NLP for your business and in sales. And I guess we can do a quick introduction of Mr. Jason Schneider. Or do you want to do your own introduction? You're pretty good at it yourself.
Either way is better. Yeah, let's give Mike a little wave here. He wants like a double wave.
Okay.
That's going to be fun. So, all right, now I hope he got that there, or I hope he didn't. But so I'm going to introduce myself here. My name is Jason Schneider. For those of you who don't yet know me, but you'll be seeing much more of me in the future when you check out my website, perceptionacademy.com. I'm a neurolinguistic programmer and a neurosemanticist, and I teach people simple step-by-step processes to run their own brain more effectively and to communicate more effectively. That's my spiel.
Awesome, awesome. And I am Gerald DuBose. My company is the New Wealth Order. We help entrepreneurs develop a winning culture, implement value-driven sales and marketing systems so that they can increase profitability. That is who I am. That is what I do. And now we are going to get to talking to Mr. Perception Mastery himself, Mr. Jason Schneider. Thank you for being on Great O'Clock with me tonight, man. I feel honored.
Oh, no, the honor is all mine. Honor is all
man,
mine.
You better stop it, man. You better stop it.
I'm blushing. If I had my lighting, you'd see.
Oh, dude, please. The ladies see you anyway. They come to Jason.
Yeah. So, I do have one. I have one before the interview starts. I have one little bone to pick with everybody on Blab.
Okay.
Are we ready for this? So the one thing is that I am now perceptionacademy.com, and he's got the right little logo there, but the wrong website, just so to clear up that little thing.
Okay, cool. If you guys are looking for Jason, it is perceptionacademy.com now. Perception Academy. And if you are looking to find Mr. Jason Schneider, the perception boss himself.
And fair deal to Mike, I should update my profile here so that the profile here is correct. And so I take back my bone that I just picked.
Cool. Tell him about it, Mike. Tell him about it. So my first question, Jason, is what brought you to NLP? What brought you to the study of NLP?
So there's you want the short story or the long story? How long are we going to be on here today?
We got about an hour and a half to go. So just talk to me, brother. The people would like to know a little bit about you.
Well, I found NLP about 10 years ago. Me and a couple of my buddies got into an argument about whether or not hypnosis was real. I was on the yes side, and one of the guys was on the no side, and I ended up doing some research online. And I really kind of just fell in love with it. So, and for those of you who don't know what NLP is, NLP stands for neuro-linguistic programming. So neuro-linguistic programming, and just real simply, that's how your neurology, your body, gets programmed by linguistics. So how communication programs your mind-body system.
Awesome. Okay, so after you found NLP, what brought you to want to really like study it and really take it on as part of your lifestyle?
So like right away, it really blew my mind. How precise it was, I think is the main thing. There were so many different things. I had been studying psychology for my bachelor's for a couple of years. And I read the first book on NLP, and it really just, really was just a paradigm shift. It was so clear. It was so precise. It made perfect sense. And it was something that they had never mentioned in all of my years studying psychology. So that kind of there was just a no-brainer.
You're talking about NLP and saying no-brainer.
Yeah, it's literally a no-brainer. It was literally, you could open my head, take my brain out, put it on the table, and I still would have studied NLP.
Okay, cool. So now I understand that you're a master practitioner and you train people in NLP. Is that correct?
Yeah, I've been doing just to kind of fill in the story a little bit. I went for my first NLP training about 6 years ago, and that company actually hired me. So I went around with them for 2 years about holding NLP trainings, practitioner level certification programs, and master practitioner level certification programs. And I kind of went through their program and helped teach it over a dozen times. So I've kind of been inside and out. This is over a 2 year period before I started my own training company and discovered neurosemantics.
Oh, okay, cool. Um, let me ask you this. That's pretty interesting. So over those 2 years, how many people would you say that you trained in NLP?
I haven't really done a count. I'd say over that 2 year period, probably about, I'd say around 200 people. And since then, maybe about 50 to 100 more.
Oh, okay, great. So what is my question? I know about some NLP. I know a little bit about it. I'll say a little bit. My question to you would be, how do you use it to apply in your business? Because I know you are the perception boss. Obviously, that has an NLP overtone to it. So how do you use NLP in your business?
Yeah, I think I'm hearing an echo here now.
Yeah, I don't know if that's me.
I don't think I'm hearing an echo from me, and it's gone. So I think like even an easier question to ask would be, where do I not use NLP in my business? Because, I've really taken it on as part of who I am. Can you hear me? Okay, you just muted yourself there. So, one of the main ways that I use NLP, honestly, in my business, I mean, obviously I use it in the way that I communicate my message and I communicate myself with people and in the demonstrations that I do. But really the main way that I use NLP in my business is in how I learn more quickly. So for me, it's all about being able to learn faster, to adapt quicker, and to update my programming. So I'm not necessarily kind of, if anything ever goes wrong, I learn from it, I adapt, and I make the changes that I need to change to get myself to where I want to be. So that's kind of the huge thing. It's just a quicker, accelerated learning, I think, is the main benefit.
Okay, that sounds great right there. Let me ask you, so after you've been doing this for a while now, obviously it's a part of you. What is the greatest benefit that you have gained from NLP?
Well, I mean, really just taking control over my life. When I first found NLP, I wasn't at a great place. I was having some issues with chronic pain. I was really at a low point, and I took a moment and I evaluated my life. And, if you were to give every area of my life, I did this kind of regular coaching exercise called the Wheel of Life, where you rate the different areas of your life on a scale of 0 to 10. 10 being that you're completely fulfilled in that area. And I think the highest one that I had was a 3. So I was kind of at a really low place. I was kind of had a problem mindset. I was focused on the past. I was kind of in a blaming mindset. And just making a huge shift into being able to create my own future, to pick my career, to make my business happen, to meet my physical goals and relationship goals, and all around just anything that I have wanted, I've worked towards and made it happen.
Awesome. So now that you obviously it's helped you with a lot of personal things, and obviously you're doing this as a business, so you see how it benefits people. How have you, well, obviously you train people in NLP, so how you use it to help your clients isn't the best question. The best question would be, can you tell people one thing they could do, one basic technique to help them get unstuck in their life with NLP?
Well, I think the main kind of takeaway, the foundational first takeaway from NLP is to understand that the map isn't the territory. And what that means is that your perception of reality, your perception is not necessarily real. It's your perception. So whenever you feel angry, whenever you feel sad, whenever you feel frustrated, whenever you feel bored, whenever you feel upset, to recognize that that feeling is not inherent in the world. It has to do with the way that you're looking at the situation. And there's someone out there who is in that same exact situation and is doing really, really well. They're thriving. They're highly resourceful. And just that kind of awareness that you are more than your feelings, and that your feelings aren't necessarily real, they're just information, can have just a really huge impact in the way that you respond to the world.
Oh, wow. That's powerful. I love that. Your feelings really aren't real. They are just information.
Mm-hmm.
That's a tweetable.
Well, one thing is, because a lot of times people fight with their emotions. So you start out in a state, you get, I'm sure everyone's been in the situation where something happens. Maybe you make the same mistake that you've made maybe 20 times before. You promised yourself you'd never do it again, and you do it again. So you end up being a little bit frustrated. And then rather than stopping for a moment, looking at the frustration and saying, well, that's just my feelings. It is what it is, and that's okay. You get angry at yourself for being frustrated. It's like, oh, I'm so stupid. I can't believe I did that again. I hate being frustrated. And then you get angry at yourself for being angry. It's like, oh, I can't believe I'm angry about being frustrated. And then you get, and this kind of spiral goes on forever. You start getting frustrated with yourself about being angry, and after a while, you don't even remember what you did in the first place. You're just kind of going in this negative, toxic spiral. So when you can kind of just accept your emotions for what they are, just information to let you know to do something different, then you really kind of slay those negative downward spirals.
That is so true. I mean, because usually it's not really what happens to us that makes us mad or really creates depression or the anger or the angst or the frustration. It's everything we think about what happened, because we tend to stack the meanings, and that's where the anger comes from. That's where the frustration comes in, because it's not just one thing we're looking at. We start to compound it. Well, if you did this, then that means that, and then that means that, and then that means that. And next thing you know, you buried yourself under a bunch of things, and it was only one simple thing that happened. So yeah. When you are dealing with things like that, or when you deal with people that have that special thing going on, especially people that have bouts with depression and those type of things, how do you, or what would you tell somebody that is struggling with that compounding of the meaning?
So one of the first things that I would do is teach them about the power of acceptance, because in that kind of situation, at any point in that negative spiral, if the next thing that you apply to the spiral becomes acceptance, the whole spiral stops. So you're sad, and then you're angry at yourself being sad, and then you're upset at yourself for being angry for being sad. At any point, if you just go, you know what, it is what it is, that's okay. It's okay that I'm angry, that I'm sad. Then the whole spiral just comes to a halt. So the power of acceptance is really can be miraculous in that way.
I would definitely agree with you there. Now, you're an entrepreneur. You've been in business for yourself for a while, and you're a pretty successful guy. Do you use NLP in like the sales process and how that works out for you and things of that nature? How does that coincide with actually helping you bring in business?
So, well, at this point, I it's just become so integrated into my behavior that it just kind of comes out naturally. But the first time that I use NLP is in how I get myself into the right state to have communications with people. So making sure that I'm in the right state, because the messages that I'm transmitting is going to be completely dependent on the state that I'm in. So first thing is applying it to myself and getting myself in the right state for a sales conversation or any type of conversation with a client. And then comes the conversation with them. So checking what state they're in, making sure that they're in the right state, and using the right language patterns and really coaching them to the decision or through the decision. So using kind of NLP coaching techniques to coach someone through the process and gathering the information that they need to make the decision.
Okay, awesome. I'm going to open up the seat here just for a moment, and I'm going to allow people, if they want to come in, to ask you a question. And my main question for you would be, if you could give just two pieces of advice to people in life when they're thinking about going on this entrepreneurial journey, what would those two pieces of advice be?
Let me think for a moment. Well, number one would be to, first of all, really think it through. Come up with outcomes for yourself, well-formed outcomes, and really, first of all, make sure that well, in terms of yourself, make sure, get a coach. It would be one thing, or at least a mentor, someone who's been there, been through it, and knows the ropes, or at least can help to guide you through there, because it's definitely not an easy journey. And it's just so helpful, or at least to have a support system, someone around you who can tell you the truth and give you the hard truth, not just the what you want to hear truth. That would be one thing. And once you have that, then really be clear about your goals, what you want, and be clear about the ecology. So making sure that the goals that you're going after are achievable and sustainable. So therefore, don't go for something too big too fast. Mm-hmm. I guess would be the thing, baby steps.
That's awesome. That's a really great thing. Well, I'm going to open up the seat and let some people come in and ask you questions personally if they would like, or you guys could just type it over there in the side chat bar. And I knew my sunshine would jump up if nobody else did. And there's Sunshine herself, Miss Gail Turner Brown. How are you, Gail?
I'm doing great. Hello, Jason.
Hello.
You don't know how glad I am that you are addressing this topic, because I was having this conversation with myself today and you appeared. So I have conjured you up. I'm trying to make sure I put my earbuds in. So here is my question. Okay. All right, I know about NLP. I'll call it intellectually. Okay. Mm-hmm. I follow Tony Robbins. I've done a lot of people who've done NLP, as well as hypnosis and all of that. So what I'm trying to determine is how would I utilize it? And I guess I would say, what are the actual steps to use it to help my monkey brain? I have a monkey brain. I have this brain that, one, I'm one of those people who constantly concepts, things are constantly coming in my head. Okay, that's number one. So then I have a challenge of coming up with having the concept come in and then just focus on that one concept until it's done. So that's one thing. The other thing is, I have literally found myself saying, okay, Gail, you need to do this, 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 and this. I know why. I know what. And inevitably, I'll veer off on a different track. So I can absolutely know I need to be making phone calls, but all I need to do is to hear, I'm like a squirrel. All I need to do is hear something else. And next thing I know, I'm scrolling through Facebook, or I'm looking at a blog that has nothing to do with work. And then what ends up happening at the end of the day, I'm like, dang, I didn't finish this or this. So, I've been looking for somebody to say, what's wrong with my brain?
Well, first thing I'll tell you is that there's nothing wrong with your brain. So
okay, that's good. Okay, I know there's hope. Okay.
It's working perfectly well. Every single time that you pick that thing, you know what it is and why you want to do it. You perfectly well go to Facebook or take any distraction. So there's nothing wrong. It's working perfectly.
Okay.
All right. So, but maybe it's not going to achieve the outcome that you want. Is that right?
Exactly.
So let me ask you for a second. Well, first of all, would you play with me for a couple minutes and maybe have? I'll give you like a 5-minute timer. I wish Mike was in here with his timer.
Okay.
But if it's all right with the host here, Mr. Gerald, give me 5 minutes with her. Straight.
Of course, brother. Of course.
Tame that monkey.
Okay. Yeah, work with the monkey. Work with the monkey.
So I'm curious. I want to ask the monkey what the monkey wants. That's my first question. What does the monkey want? You told me what you want, right? So you want to sit down and make some phone calls.
Right. Exactly.
What does the monkey want? That's my question.
It seems to do everything else.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I have literally sat down and say, okay, I got my list. Okay. The next thing is like, I'm going to get something to eat. Let me go fix something to eat first, and I'll go do that. And then I sit down and I eat and I'm like, dang, I want something to drink, and literally next thing I know, honestly, because when I get something to eat, then it's, like I said, I may scroll through Facebook or I may go check out a blog that has nothing to do with business. And then I get really ticked off because I look up and it's 3 o'clock and I'm like, where did the time go? I didn't get anything done. So, and I've been wondering if I am somehow have an aversion to maybe not make those calls.
Is there ever a time when you do make the calls?
Yeah.
All right. So in those times you do make the calls. You say, yeah, with a little tone of voice. What was that going on there?
Well, you know what? Because it's not consistent. I've had people say, what is it? They give it things like 10 before 10. Make 10 phone calls before 10 o'clock. That needs to be your ritual.
Okay.
And I've not managed to do. I may do it one day and not the next 4.
Consistency. So other people tell you the 10 before 10. What do you want to do? That would be my first question. What is it that you want out of this conversation, out of these 5 minutes that's going to start now?
Okay, I want customers.
All right, you want customers.
I want people calling me saying, yes, I need your marketing. That's what I want.
You want people calling you, or you want to be calling people?
No, I really prefer them to call me. I'm not going to lie. I would prefer them to call me.
Why would you prefer them to call you?
Well, one, because I know, number one, if they're calling me, they at least have an interest in what I've got. So my feeling is that when I'm calling them, I'm saying, hey, this is what I think you need. I know you do, because I know you're not making no money. But, but now I got to go through all of the bull twinkiola to get to that. You know what I mean?
So all that bull twinkiola, is that part of the reason of, what you're calling bull twinkiola? Is that part of the reason that's holding you back from actually making those calls?
I do have an inner feeling that yes, because the conversation in my head is, I got to make all of these calls.
So wait, let me ask you. Let me take a time out here, Gail. So when you looked up and you went,
yeah,
what were you picturing in your mind there?
I was picturing that this is not fun.
Okay, you're picturing it's not fun, and that leads you to sigh. So you think about making calls. So think about making those calls right now.
Okay.
All right. When you think about making the calls, how do you feel?
That I've got to go through a whole ton of calls before I can get anybody to say at least that they're open, because you got to go through the numbers.
Let's say that's true for a minute, Gail. Let's say that's true, and I may interrupt you for every once in a while.
That's okay. I'm good.
Let's say that's true, that you're going to have to go through a whole bunch of calls before anyone shows some interest. Let's hypothetically say that's true. If that's true, then what does that mean for you? That's causing you to go,
It feels like drudgery.
Okay, it feels like drudgery. So what's the implications? Let's say you've got to call a bunch of people before anyone shows interest. What's the implication of that? That means that it's a I don't know. It means that, one, it feels like a pain. Two, it feels like I feel like I'm not I don't know, that I've got to go through a lot. Like, I feel like I'm convincing people, or that I got to go through a whole ton of stuff, and it just doesn't make me feel good. All right. So one of the layers. So we got regeneration in here saying one of the layers is that you're going to have to call all these people before someone shows you interest. That's what's going on in your mind.
That's what's going on in my mind. Yes, it is.
When you think about picking up the phone, and making those calls, you go.
Well,
first thing you think is, you think everybody. See that? There's something that's happening there. Okay,
Yes.
there's something that's happening between you, the thought of you picking up the phone and the.
Yes.
And I want to clear that away because I know a couple of people in this chat room, when they think about picking up the phone, they go,
Okay.
all right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. And I know you don't want to feel like that. You want
Exactly.
to feel, no, you don't. No, you want to feel like,
Right. Yeah, exactly. No, you're totally right. You're totally.
So that's how you've been doing it.
Right. That's how I've been doing it. And as you said that, I was trying to remember what some of the feelings have been.
Mm-hmm.
So here's the other feeling is I'm going to go through all of this. This is going to really take a long time. I don't know if I'm going to end up with the result that I want, which AKA a customer or client, which means if I end up with a customer or client, that means a sale. And oh crap, I got to make sure that the sale gets done. And so as I'm vocalizing this now, I'm realizing those are the things that's going through my body.
So you got
that's
all
what's
these
going through my body.
So this is the stuff that's going on in your head that's causing you to feel like this. That's going
Yes.
into your body. Gotcha.
Yes.
And
yes.
my question is, do you like that stuff that's going on in your head? The kind of
No, not really. No.
But maybe you do. Maybe you love it. Maybe it's like maybe you want to keep on doing that for a couple more months. Maybe you want to.
No,
keep on
I
doing
don't.
that
I really don't.
No. I was gonna go for years. No, how about just one more week? You want to do that?
I really don't. No, I
Are
don't.
you sure? Does it? Maybe it helps you. Maybe it serves you. Maybe that helps you to get sales. The not making calls. Does it?
No, it does not.
All right. So let's just hypothetically take one more minute here, an extra minute. You get a bonus minute today because you're lucky.
I got a bonus round. Okay.
And now my question is if you weren't saying that, how would you like to feel when it comes to picking up the phone? If you had a choice.
Well,
you don't have a choice. You have to feel like, But if you did have a choice, how would you like to feel?
I would like to feel totally in control, totally within power, because I know that when it gets done, that they're going to have a positive outcome, and so am I.
So notice
That's how I want to feel.
Notice how your tone shifted. Notice how your pronunciation shifted, and notice how the self-talk shifted. That they're going to get a positive outcome, and so are you.
Right.
Okay? And as you think about that, let's say that imagine next time that you're tomorrow morning. Is tomorrow morning a day when you would go to make calls?
Every morning is a day that I would go to make calls.
So now what I'd like you to do, so you see that look, everyone else in here, I know you can't talk, but you saw that look on her face right there when she thought about making calls, right? Right. So we would now be able to know whether or not she lied to us and told us something changed. If she was to think about making calls and that face didn't show up again, something would have happened magical. Would that be fair to say, Gail?
Yes,
so let's say tomorrow, hypothetically, that you were to wake up and you were going to pick up the phone and make those calls because you know that they're going to get a positive outcome, and so are you, right?
Right.
And I really want you to get into that state now. Was there ever a time when you felt like that?
Yes.
Great. I want you to kind of re-experience that state just as if it was now. So step into that memory when you did, right here, right now, bringing all the states with you, and just show me the posture of that state.
Okay.
All right.
I just thought about I did it tonight. I just did it tonight.
There
I was doing something else. Yeah. So this was me. Oh, wait a minute. Where my thing? Oh, hold up. Okay.
There she go with the hat.
I gotta have my hat.
That's what you mean. Awesome.
Right. I got.
So what I'd like you to do now is I'd like you to imagine tomorrow having that same state. So imagine getting up and you have that same state, right? And that you're going to pick up the phone and you're going to make those calls because why?
Because they're going to have a positive outcome when we get this done.
Because they're going to have a positive, and then if they have a positive outcome, then what happens?
Hey, I get paid.
All right. And let's say that you get paid, right? You get paid. What does that mean? What happens because you get paid? Then what happens next?
Well, then we get to eat.
Well, then we get to eat.
Yeah, we get to eat. But
and what else?
But in all seriousness, I get to know within me. I get my confidence builds up. I feel more empowered, and I feel like my business is really growing. It's really turning into a real business.
So
and
you're
that's
going
what I
Can I
love.
just add one thing?
Yeah,
Huh?
go for
Go
it.
ahead.
Mr.
Just one thing to you, Sunshine.
I know.
Yeah. The enemy is the inner me.
Right.
And you know that, and and you went right back to feeling that right after you were going to a state change. So
Right.
what you have to realize is when you are in state and when you are in good state, you crush that negative state while you're there.
Right.
And that's what he was trying to do. He's trying to give you what they call an NLP, an anchor, something
Right.
you can always
That
go back
anchor.
to when you catch
Right.
yourself.
Right.
See, but right now your anchor is that first thought of, because you were smiling and then it was like, yeah, but then I know this, and as soon as you said the but, it discounts everything else
Right.
that's happened.
Mm-hmm.
So just be
Okay.
open to receive just for a minute and just be poured into and be your beautiful sunshine self. That's what you need to do.
Hold
Okay,
on for a minute. Time out for a minute. Take the hat off for 1 second, Gail. Take it off for a second.
Okay. I'm having a bad hair day now.
Wait,
Come
take
on,
it off,
work with
take
us.
it off. Take it off. All right. Wait a minute. We're going to put it right back on. Hold on. But I want you to put it on the right way. Put it on the right way this time. Come on. Throw it on right back into that I'm going to call it the ass kicking state, the phone calling. There you go. Right there. All right. And what I want you to do now is I'm just curious if you'd be surprised to find how easily you can pick up the phone tomorrow and just make those calls feeling like this.
Right.
And as you just imagine for a moment doing that now, picking up the phone feeling like this, because you know what? When you do that, they're going to get a positive outcome, and so are you.
Right.
And if that happens, then you know what? You're going to get to eat, right?
Right. Yeah,
but not only that, but more seriously, think about what that's going to mean for your motivation.
Right.
Right? What that's going to do for your motivation and for your confidence.
Right.
And when that happens for your confidence, what happens next time you make the phone calls the next day?
Then, well, one, it increases. I'm more anchored, and then I get to make more calls. Because the more I feel anchored and centered and empowered, then that negative feeling that I had before dissipates.
All right. So the more you do it, the better it gets. Is that what?
The better it gets. Exactly. The more I do it, the better it gets, and the better it gets, the more I do it.
But you're not going to do it tomorrow, are you?
There you go.
Yeah. Yes, I am. Yes, I am.
No, I told you.
Yes, I am.
I told you.
Of course I can. Yes, I can.
No.
Yes,
and I want to leave you with one more thing.
Okay.
So I need you to close your eyes and keep smiling though.
Okay.
Okay. Now I want you to try to tell us how hard it is for you to pick up the phone right now. Try it.
It is not. I can't.
Yeah, you can't do it, right?
I cannot do it.
So when you think about picking up that hat and you think about that smile, you smile when you look at that phone, you grab that hat and you put it on and you go to work. That's what you do.
Right.
And that's how you control it. That's how you do it. That's how you make it weaker rather than stronger.
Right.
You want to know a secret,
You're
Gail?
not feeding it anymore.
You want to know a secret, Gail? By the way, you want to know a secret?
What?
Take off the hat for a moment, but take off the hat for a moment. Just take it off for a moment. All right, leaving all the magic in the hat. You can leave all the magic in the hat. Right? You just come back for a moment. All right. So what I want to tell you a little bit of secret. Did you know that a phone is just like a hat?
Okay.
That when you pick it up and put it on, that you can go right back there.
I can go right back there. What's there? There is the state.
Did you know that? Did you know that?
I didn't. No, not really. I mean,
try it right now. Just have an imaginary phone and just try it right now. Notice how the phone is just like a hat. That when you pick up that phone, that you can go right there. Just try it on.
Try the hat on or my phone on. I got
try the phone on and see how easily the magic can come back right with the phone.
Okay.
Would that surprise you?
Yeah, I didn't think of it like that before.
No. So put down the phone for a moment, leaving all the magic in the phone.
Okay. Leave all the magic in the phone. Phone. Okay.
Now, what I want you to do is just pick it up again and allow all the magic to flow back into you as soon as you pick up the phone. You could find out how easily that you can do that now.
Okay,
how does that feel?
This is good. No, this is good. This is good.
How many more times do you need to practice that before you know that you can do that tomorrow, don't you?
How many more times I would need to practice it? Maybe two or three. That's about it.
Sometimes it takes a lot of times though. Sometimes it takes like 4 times, but I think that
really.
I think
no,
you could
I think I could do. No, I think I could do that. I think I can do that. I know I can. It's not even really. It is a no. It's a no. I can do this. I can do this. This is a piece of cake. It's a piece of cake, piece of pie.
So tomorrow, what I'd like you to do is I'd just like you to imagine, last thing here, I'd like you to just close your eyes for a minute and imagine now tomorrow, this piece of cake, this piece of pie, you can do it for all those reasons, and watching how easily it goes, because the magic is in the phone when you put it to your ear. There you go. That's right. And imagine how much easier that gets out into the days, weeks, months, and years out into the future. And the more you do it, the better you get, the more you do it, the more your confidence increases. And you find just how much you're more you can build that confidence to put that food on the table and really just to feel good knowing that you did it. Exactly. You did it. And actually perhaps being surprised to find that the magic wasn't even in the phone. Right. Then obviously always the magic is within me. It's within here. It's in here. It's here. So I hope you can have good dreams tonight. Yeah. Because, in our dreams is where we integrate things. So sometimes in our dreams, our unconscious mind can absorb the things so that when we wake up in the morning, we're just in that right place where we need to be absorbing everything. So. Right. Okay. And did you eat dinner yet? No, I haven't. I had to think for a minute. I've been on Blab all day. So I have not had dinner yet, no. All right. No? So any plans for dinner? Actually, God, you know what? It's only almost 9 o'clock. I thought it was like 10 o'clock. So yeah, yes, I will after I'm done with this. Yes. All right. So after you're done with this and before you kick ass on the phone tomorrow. Okay. Awesome. Thank you. All right. So this is awesome. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Yeah. And have a blessed night. And I look forward to hearing about how well it went. Okay, good stuff. Thank you so much, Jason. I really appreciate it. Awesome.
Ooh, that is Miss Gail Turner Brown. Awesome. Boy. Kicking behind with the magic phone and the beautiful hat. I love it. The magic phone and the beautiful hat. I mean, how you gonna lose? So I love it. That was wonderful. It's powerful, and that's what NLP can do. And I first want to applaud you, Gail, for stepping up and coming up and asking a question. And this is why we're doing this. This is what this is all about. So people can get to experience NLP firsthand, get their questions answered, and actually pour it into somebody's life, because like somebody poured it into ours, obviously. Mm-hmm. So is there anybody else that has a question, that has a comment? If you would like to come in, you can. If you're too camera shy, we're not going to pressure you. You can type it over there in the side chat, and we can talk that way. Or I would love to get you to come up and talk with us live and just share for a little bit so that we can interact and get your questions answered by a master NLP practitioner. It's not often you get an opportunity like this. So this is a chance to really take advantage of it. Yeah, I just broke a sweat there, Gail. So oh man, that just that shows how much good work you did. Yeah. If I'm sweating, then the work was good. Yeah. That's some real energy. You start sweating it, all you're doing is talking. That means you're really into it. That's some sort of something going on here. Seats open. Anyone who wants to jump in there, just feel free to click the button, swipe on over there if you're on your phone, and you can touch it with your finger, whichever one is easier. So, I mean, if you want to chat a little bit about what was going on there, though, I mean, first of all, yeah, that was amazing. Really amazing. What was going on there? That was powerful work. I mean, to see someone work through a block that they're having live and actually watch the physiology change. See, that's the part that people miss, because what a lot of people don't understand is that you do depression, you do sadness, you do anger. You don't become angry. You do those things because you dwell on something and then you anchor it into your body, and you just, embrace all of that, and that's what transfers out that energy for you. So go ahead, Jason.
We got a good question here from Vin. He said, why transfer the magic to the phone? Why not leave it in the hat and get her to wear the hat while making calls? And so the reason for that is actually pretty interesting. But I, in my work, don't like to leave the magic in something external. So if you didn't notice at the end there, actually, I said that I didn't actually tell her that the magic was in her. I made a statement saying, I said, that the magic isn't, it was a question. I said, the magic actually isn't in the phone, is it? As a question. And then that's the power of questions, by the way, is that I didn't tell her that the magic is in her. I asked her a question and she told me that the magic is in her. So what happened was we shifted from having some sort of external power to internal power, and realizing that she was the one who was doing it all along, that it had nothing to do with the phone or the hat. And so, that's the answer to your question there, Vin.
Yeah. See, the thing is, we all use symbols. Symbols are powerful to people. Symbols are some of the biggest links to memory for people. So that's why you transfer things to symbols, because it makes it relatable for people and they understand it a little better. What about the men who wear power ties? She's asking. Yeah. So the same thing about me wearing my magic underwear. If I wasn't wearing my magic underwear right now, Gail, that wouldn't have worked. Woo! Good thing I've got my magic underwear on. Otherwise, you would have been in trouble tomorrow. But I'm wearing them, so you're gonna kick butt on the phones. Absolutely. The mission is always to leave it. See, first you give symbols. Okay, and this is just a peek inside of what happens with NLP coaching, transformational language pattern and stuff. Yeah.
Terrible.
You first use symbolization so they can relate and understand and digest. And after they understand and digest, you then want to keep it ingested inside of them. So you take the object from them and then make it relate to their own feeling and allow them to answer it so they can hear it. And that's why you hear it repeated more than once, because when you hear it once, it doesn't compute. When you say it 3 or 4 times, it starts to compute because you're speaking it into life for yourself. And that's what he was doing in that whole situation.
Let's see here. What are the differences among NLP, somatic intelligences, BQ, and emotional intelligence, EQ? That's a thick question there, man.
That is. Okay. Mr.
Let's see here. Right? Let's see here.
Dropping bombs over there.
Man, yeah.
I wish we could have got you on camera to ask that one. That's on camera.
Hold on. Yeah. Come on in. I'm not going to answer that one until she joins the room. I'm actually going to try. There she is.
There she goes. Hey, Mary.
Hello.
How far art thou?
I'm wonderful. How are you?
I am Mac Fantabulous. If I was any better, they might lock me up. So I'm going to just keep it on this level.
I love it. Oh, and my alarm for my oven would go off right now. Can you give me 2 minutes?
Mm-hmm. Sure we can.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay.
Your hairness.
All right, cool. But we'll wait for her to come back to answer that question. This is what this conversation is for. And if you all would be so kind as to tell a little bird that we're doing this and that we're in here, so that we can keep the conversation going. If you want, you can tell your auntie over there on Miss Facebook, and we may get some of those people over here too, which would be a totally different type of conversation, I think, altogether. So
this gift thing is a new thing here. Now I'm seeing what it is. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, remember I was telling you that.
That's cool. So so I want to go back to what John said also. He said the mission is to bring the empowerment internal, correct? And that's the whole point there with the hat thing also, is that let's say something happens and she loses her hat, or someone steals her hat, or her hat gets broken or spilled on or something like that. We wouldn't want that to take away from what was actually inside of her all along. So it's actually even moving closer to reality. And the reality is that the magic was in her. The truth is that the magic was never in the hat. Never. I have dozens, she says. Touche.
Absolutely. Yeah, and Gail does have dozens of hats. I can tell you that. I know that for sure.
Does anybody? Does she?
Yes. Well, anybody else have any questions, comments?
Yeah, anybody want to pop in and just kind of ask questions about the communication, maybe? Because if you didn't notice, all that was just conversation. So we were just talking. There was no magic pills, no magic bullets, no, nothing but just two people having a conversation. So is there any questions about the power of the communication there?
Well, boom. We have Mary. There she goes, your royal hairness.
Hello.
She has a great smile too. Man, y'all ladies just be popping on here with these smiles that just light up the room. I'm trying to tell you
today.
So, go ahead, Jason.
Let me hear the question again, Mary.
Of course, I was asking, what are the differences between NLP, somatic, which is body intelligence, and emotional intelligence?
So what I think, I'm not too familiar with body intelligence. I can respond with emotional intelligence, and I can tell you that NLP is a tool that you can use to increase your emotional intelligence.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So NLP, emotional intelligence, is kind of, if I'm understanding it correctly, it's an intelligence, whereas NLP is more of processes in order to get that kind of intelligence up.
Oh, okay.
And I also would say about the BQ, or the somatic intelligence, is that NLP is a way to tap into your embodied knowledge. So if you notice, when we said to, so sorry right now, I'm drawing a quick blank here. When we said to Gail, when she started thinking about making those calls, she had a physical reaction, a somatic reaction right away. You saw she stepped back, her facial expression changed, her breathing shifted, her voice changed. And so all of that is this embodied intelligence. It's this embodied response that what was going on is there was a difference between the way her IQ and her BQ. So the BQ was a little monkey that was going in the way that she didn't want it to go. And her IQ was saying, well, this is what I want. And the body is always gonna take control in the way, because the body is the BQ, the somatic intelligence, is ancient. And the IQ is just a little baby sitting on top of an ancient, great grandfathers, all years and decades and hundreds of years and centuries of intelligence. And we're just like a little baby sitting on the top of the brain going, oh, I want this, I want that. And, the core is saying, well, I know better than you. And sometimes it does, and sometimes it doesn't. In this case, it was actually holding her back from achieving what was best for her. So what we were doing was we were using NLP to retrain the BQ. And the result was higher level of emotional intelligence.
Perfect. Oh, wow. That was beautiful. Thank you, because I'm interested in all three, but I wasn't sure how they all work together.
And actually, what I was going to say is NLP, just to stand on his shoulders and just to add a little bit, NLP actually is the communication system utilized so that you can do the BQ and the EQ, because they are actually part of NLP, because NLP is all about changing state. That's what we were trying to do. And your BQ is all about your body language, your physiology. That's what we call it when you're doing NLP. How are you using your body? You want to change your state. The easiest way to do it, obviously, is to change the way you use your body. And then emotionally, after you change your body, it's easy to change the emotion, because when you're in a bad posture, when you're in a bad place physically, it doesn't matter what you're saying intelligently or emotionally. Your body's going to do something different, which is going to drive that emotion in a different manner. So until we can change how your body is, because as you saw, she sat up.
Yes.
Before she was kind of sitting down, head down. Then she was up, neck up, looking straight. everything changed. And now you can receive because you are in a different place to receive. When you're here, you're kind of shut down from people. And we have to be able to change that in order to communicate. And that's what NLP does, is kind of change the programming, neuro-linguistic programming. So we're going to talk the linguistics, the neuro, change how your neurology is working, your brain processes, and we're going to help change the programming that you currently have through the neuro-linguistics. So,
and so like I think another question would be, what's the difference between what a brain surgeon would do? So a brain surgeon would go in there, they'd try to get the same thing by chopping into your brain somehow. Right? You've got like a drug company will try to give you some sort of pill with all sorts of side effects to try to get that physiological change. And we're just doing it through communication. So, if you think about it that way, it's a lot cleaner and it's a lot more controlled and there's a lot less side effects when you can get these types of change in the body, change in the neurology, change in the state through communication, as opposed to using some sort of pill or using some sort of surgery. We're in control the whole time. We're checking it out. We're keeping an eye, and we're going back and forth. And that was another question in there, is what's the difference between NLP and hypnosis? It was actually asked by Gail. And I would say the first thing was that you were conscious that whole time, going back and forth with me, giving me feedback. Is what I'm doing right? Is what I'm doing working? Is it what you want? Is it not what you want? Is it not working? So that I can get feedback and do something different with you. So we were dancing. And if you were in hypnosis, you would have been knocked out, and you would have kind of been praying that I knew what I was doing, and I knew what was going on inside of you. We're throwing a Hail Mary there. This was more of a back and forth dance.
Perfect. This is great information, because now I kind of have a better way of knowing where to head.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Aaron. Thanks so much for great question, Mary.
That was phenomenal.
And I want to add one more thing in here also, by the way, because a lot of what I use there goes a little bit beyond just traditional NLP, because my actual expertise lies in a thing called neurosemantics, or neurosemantic NLP. And so if you notice, like regeneration, John was saying, is that I was peeling back the layers. And that's one of the things that we can do with neurosemantics and neurosemantic NLP that a traditional NLP practitioner is not trained in those skills per se. So I think I can relate to that, because there are certain words that I know trigger a certain reaction in me. And that's why I was asking, because I'm interested in all three of them. I like the fact that NLP is about processes. So yeah. And in somatics, I know there are certain words that trigger me, like I'm ready to fight, and it's not, it's so bad. But there are certain words, like when people say you need to do things, I'm like, I'm a grown person. I have choices. So, even thinking of it now, and I know my body reacts. So I have to internally reframe what they meant. I would love to give you the opportunity now or later to get some coaching around that subject yourself. Because my assumption is, and I know that you have an immediate one of those reactions right there when you hear me say that, because you don't want to. I know that. But I know that when you do give yourself permission to become a little bit more flexible with that type of, let's say, rules or needing or musts, that you're going to have a lot more internal freedom yourself when you give yourself permission to kind of dance over there.
Right. And also just one thing which is why we talk about TLP, which is like the transcendental language patterns, things I really enjoy doing with words, is usually when you work with somebody that does NLP and things like that, we do something called like a word association exercise. So we can look at your triggers and see what meanings and where the depth came from for you. Because if you need to, and somebody says need to, and that tighten up, that means that something in your past, somebody said that one too many times, and you're like, oh, I don't need nothing. I'm grown now. You don't tell me nothing. See, and it takes you back to that place. So what we have to do is disempower that and reframe it.
That's an old decision.
It is, because I'm sweating and it's cool in here. And I know it. And that's why I said, I would love to learn those processes, the techniques, because I see it for myself. And it's as I can't not do it.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, it's some work to be done there, but the good thing is that you recognize it. Most people don't even recognize it, or they recognize it and don't care that it's there. They come with the story, that's just me. That's not just you. You weren't born that way.
Right.
You lived into that, and now you don't want to let it go because it's familiar. And that's unfortunately why people become depressed and frustrated, because they'd rather hold on to something that makes them feel bad for a very long time rather than let it go and create a new existence. So the thing is, by us, and what one thing NLP does is it makes you recognize the stories you told yourself.
Yes.
And you start to realize that you have the right to change that story.
Yes.
At any moment in time. It's just you have to decide that that's what you want to do, and that this is the time that you want to do it. So phenomenal.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
Appreciate you, Mary. Thank you so much. And Alex, no, Gerald is not going to read a poem tonight.
I'm a bit upset. I've been missing out on all the good stuff this month.
Oh man, Alex, that's my buddy, man. Alex is funny. So anybody else want to jump up, have a question, comment?
What do we do with that there, huh?
Want to talk to Mr. Jason?
How do we do this here? Oh, that we just popped it up. Cool.
Yeah. Cool. I think we got this done now. All right. Cool. So anybody else have a question, comment about NLP, TLP? Want to know something else about how it works, or just want to come up and tell us a little bit about you? Maybe it's something you are working through yourself or would like to work through. He is being a little shy about his poetry, but it's oh man, no, they know about the poetry. Alex, they know about it. I'm pretty sure. Gerald, I'll talk with you tomorrow. Jason, thank you again. You are amazing. I'm going to eat. Go eat.
Enjoy, and have a great night tonight.
Absolutely. I've never heard of NLP. I will research NLP. Well, if you just want to do a recap.
Yeah, so just as a recap, I would say that NLP stands for Neuro-Linguistic Programming, for those of you who are new. It's the study of modeling excellence, or the study of the structure of subjective experience. More simply, it's about how communication programs your neurology. And I do a more advanced form of NLP called neurosemantics. So if you're going to look it up, I would check out Neurosemantic NLP or perceptionacademy.com, and you can read a couple of articles over there. Welcome, Mr. Ross Jeffries. Welcome to the room.
Oh, wow, Mr. Ross Jeffries. He is an NLP guy himself. I know Mr. Jeffries. I know his work. Mr. Jeffries is a great guy to talk to about NLP as well. Okay, yeah. Anybody else have questions, comments? Wait, Mary had another question for us. She said, do people at times think you are empaths?
Do you think that if they did, they would be right or wrong? People at sometimes, I don't think the question is so much about empaths or not. There's times when I can get into a bit of an empathic state and connecting with others, and there's times when I'm not. I think the more common question is whether or not it's intuition or not. So I think that that's kind of more the common thing. People are wondering, well, are you following your intuition, or are you doing this based on some sort of information? And I would say that 99% of the time, my work is based off of information and data that I'm collecting from the person, as opposed to just trusting my gut and going with the flow. So does it have anything to do with how a person behaves? And it has everything to do with how a person behaves. It's about how your internal programming is governing all of your behaviors. So all of your behaviors is governed by some sort of thought stuff of your mind. And that's exactly what it has to do with the root cause of all of your behavior. Yeah.
And I would say about the empaths, some people do think because you can connect to them that it's the empath thing. And there are some people that go according to what they say is intuition, but it's a collection of knowledge that they have that allow them to be able to tap into that same emotional type of energy that that person is sharing that makes it seem empathetic, I'll say. So, okay, cool. I have some things I need to break as far as a habit. This may be good. Would you like to come up and talk? Hey, that's what this is for. We got a few more minutes here.
Got a hot seat over here.
Practitioner here. I would love for Ross to come in because Ross is phenomenal as well. For you guys that don't know Mr. Ross Jeffries, he's really great as well. So, Ms. Mosaic, I met you last night, I believe.
No shower cap.
Yes, I remember. I don't forget now. I don't forget.
I have no shower cap this time.
Oh, that's funny.
That's all right. You're naturally wonderful tonight. I'm loving it. Strong's give us some snaps. See, claps ain't enough when the hair is on fleek, as they say. It's fleek. Is that fleek? Yeah, there you go. All right. Well, welcome up. Thank you for stepping up and stepping out, as we like to say. What was your question, or what are you trying to work through?
Thank you. Somebody said my hair is cute. Thank you. I guess like for me, being in the business that I'm in, sometimes it took me a while to get to where I just feel like, okay, I'm cool, I'm about to do my business, but then I get to a point where I'm like, ooh, I'm scared because things start happening like really fast. And then that's when I get a little scared, like, oh my God, is this right? Like, it's supposed to be happening this way. So it's like I'm afraid to be successful at times, I feel like sometimes.
You know what? I have to acknowledge you for saying it the right way. Because so many people say they're afraid of failing. And most of the time, it's not a fear of failure, it's a fear of succeeding. But please continue.
Yeah, and it's like I get to like, how my import business kind of like fell in my lap, I say, but I know it was kind of divine how it happened. But it just really, the opportunity just was like, here, let's do this. And I was like, okay, I've always been wanting to do that, like for real. But now it's like, I get a little scared because like where I'm going is I would never have really even imagined the places that I'm getting ready to go and the things I'm getting ready to do. And it's like, I'm just like, I'm scared to be successful. And I don't understand why. It's just like I would be scared to fail. But I'm more scared.
You think you would only be scared to fail because that's what you've heard so much. Most people, again, that's why I told you, you at least framed it right. Most people have a fear of success more than a failure. Mm-hmm. Now, part of I'll let this, because this is really Jason's thing. He's giving 5-minute coaching here. But my thing I would offer to you would be that you seem like you don't feel like you deserve to be successful. And that's the block you're working through. And I don't know why that is. So, Jason, go ahead.
That just okay.
That hits out there.
We got a little bit. Look at see.
What's that smile there? What's behind the smile?
Okay, so I've been living in Columbus, Ohio since like 1999, and I brought 6 years ago a family member to here, and it's like I can't seem to progress with them here.
All right, I was wondering what that had to do with the family member.
Yeah, it's very much so. And so my father brought it to my attention. He said, it's been 6 years since your mother moved here. And in 6 years, you have not progressed further really where you should be. And I'm like, and I had to sit back and like, I'm looking at him like, you're right. Like, I had to think about it. Like, you're right. And it's like, almost like, there's an attachment. Like, there's a hold. And I don't know, I can't seem to break free from it. But it's like, I feel like I'm 12 again sometimes. Mm-hmm. But I'm like, I know it's time for me to go and it's time for me to do other things because I would be in Africa a lot. So I just need to go ahead and just do it. But it's like, I just can't seem to find that spot to just say, It's almost like double dutch. I feel like I'm steady here. I'm still here, just ready to jump in, and I can't figure out when to jump in.
What's on the inside? If you were to jump inside, what would be in there?
Ooh. Like, first, like if I was to jump in, oh my goodness, it would be more fear.
All right, so that's the feeling. That's the feeling. But what's going on in there that's causing the feeling?
I guess feeling like I'm deserting her.
All right, feeling like you're deserting her, and you're deserting her. And what if you were to go in? If you like jumping in, that's going to Africa. Is that what you said?
Oh, that's part of it. Yeah, so I'll be
okay,
coast, and then eventually on to the coast of.
So you feel like you're deserting her, and that's one of the things that's holding you back from jumping in. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah.
Got you. And just my question is just before Gerald starts the 5-minute clock, I'm wondering, what is it that would be the most powerful thing that I could give you within the next 5 minutes, or that ultimately it would be you giving it to yourself, that if you got that, because you mentioned a couple of things here. So before you jumped in, you mentioned that you have a couple of habits that you'd like to break, right? Mm-hmm. Then you came in here and you said that you have a fear of success. And I don't quite know what that means, but that's another thing that you brought up. And then you talked about not being able to jump in and kind of staying on the sides, waiting to jump in because of if you were to jump in, that would be abandoning your mother. And so with all that being said, what would be the one thing that if you were to achieve that by the end of this conversation, that would be the most transformational thing in your life?
Probably the jumping in part.
All right, the jumping in and the letting go. And so if you were to get exactly what you want, perfect timing there, what would it look like? So what is it that you want or need in this situation?
In this situation, I need for her to, well, right now, I need for her to have her own place, which she's working on. But I need to go.
Okay. All right, you need to go. And if she was to get her own place, then what would that give you?
That would give me freedom.
Freedom, okay. Freedom to
do whatever I want.
Such as
like far as like my business, I make products and I also wholesale. Well, I can't make products the way I want to in my house, because when I will start to make products, then she want to cook, and I'm like, it's 12 o'clock at night. Why you want to cook all of a sudden now?
All right.
So it's like those little things like that, but it's like I don't have space to do everything that I want to do.
All right. And so what is the relationship between you doing the things that you want to do in the house and jumping in? Like I'll let you answer. Go ahead.
I'm still trying to.
I'm sorry, you stuttered for the internet flipped for a second. So, yeah. So, what is the relationship between? And I'm going to tell you a couple things. First of all, that I can be a bit confrontational at times, and it's a loving thing. A bit challenging, let's say. I also use a lot of jokes, and I'm never laughing at you. We're laughing together at the problem. Another thing is I may interrupt you at times, and if I do, it's only because I want to give you the most value that I can in the 4 minutes and 59 seconds that never changes. So let me just recap real quick to make sure that I'm understanding you correctly. So what you want to work on, of all the things, the most important thing for you would be about this jumping in and letting go. And when you jump in, then you get freedom. Freedom to do the things that you want and need to do. For example, making the products in your home. And so I'm wondering, what is the relationship between the making the products in the home, and so your mom moving out and giving you the freedom to make the products in the home? What does that have to do with you now jumping in this double Dutch? What's the relationship there?
The relationship, I guess, is the hold that, kind of like, it felt like she's kind of holding on to me. Like this pull. So it's like I knew I need to go and do these things. And every time I leave to go to the East Coast, whether if I have to go bring in a shipment from port, it's always an issue. So I'm always. So
when you say it's an issue, what does that mean? To
She
what?
finds
Fight?
something to fight about.
Okay, so she finds something to fight. So every time it's time for you to leave, she finds something to fight about. And then what's the implication of that on you?
Usually stress. I have to usually end up putting do not disturb on the phone.
All right, and you get
drive
that stress, and that stress leads to what?
It just leads me basically.
All right, and when we're talking about her starting to fight, say that again. Who's that? That's your mom?
No, she says she's the Olivia Pope
like
of her family.
Oh, okay. No, I'm sorry. We're cutting out. I'm missing every other word for a second here. No, it's all right. It could be me. So, all right. So when you go out, so she is starting problems with you whenever you try to kind of jump in and travel and do your thing. And how specifically? So can you tell me about one specific thing that she has done, maybe a really bad one, that started a problem with you? Like, what would she do? She would say something?
One thing in particular, she wanted me to do something that was just like totally impossible for me to do as a business owner. And I was like, no, I can't do that. And she's like, you don't support me. And I was like, okay, like you need to call me 2-3 days later. So it just turns into messages and yelling and screaming and name calling.
Got
it's
you.
Just like,
so one of the things that we can't control right now is her, but we can control you and your responses, and that's kind of your responsibility. And when we think about that, we can't make her move out, although there are things that you can do that can facilitate that for her. What would be the most powerful transformation? What would be the most powerful thing that you can do for yourself to help you to jump in, to give yourself that freedom, and to not feel like you're abandoning her?
Probably. I don't know.
And that's a great answer. That's the exact answer that I would expect from you, seeing as you hadn't thought of that yet. And so as you think about that now, and just take as much time as you want, as you think about that now, what would that be? Because this right here can be a breakthrough, just realizing what's in your power. So what is in your power? What is it that is in your power that would allow you to either not respond when she starts problems, or that would allow you to jump in regardless, if that's what you really want?
In my power
in
right
general
now?
What would you change? What would be the most powerful change you could make within yourself?
How I spend my time. That would probably be a big thing. How I allocate my time throughout the day for things. One of the things is to stop allowing her to change.
Got you.
My schedule.
And John's got it right on the spot there, to stop allowing her to change your schedule. And so, and we're all kind of on the same page here. We're all hitting it at the same time. So if you were not allowing her to change your schedule, what would be different? So let's think of one time. I'll give you an extra 3 minutes on the clock if you can, and then we'll wrap it up in 3 minutes. So, and then we'll kind of close out the blab with a little bit there. But so if you were to allow her to stop changing your schedule, what would be the benefit of that for you? Would you want that?
Oh yeah, there would be less.
If there was less stress, then there would be more what? Say that again.
That I would have to do. It would be less stress and
less stress,
tasks.
and let's say that there were less stress and less tasks. What would that give you?
It would give me more time.
All right.
For myself.
More time for yourself. and let's say you keep on letting her do that. You keep on letting her kind of control your schedule, because she is the one who controls your schedule, right? Are you sure? All right. So you're not allowed to change yet. We're not there yet. You got to wait. Hold on to the problem a little bit longer. We're not allowed to change yet. Yeah, she can. Yeah,
She
okay.
controls
Now
my
I don't
address.
believe you anymore, but we'll keep playing this game. So, all right. So I'm assuming that you're ready to change this. Maybe you want to keep it for
Yes.
till next week, same place, same time, and we could fix it then. You can go one more week of giving her
Mm-mm.
your control over your schedule. Maybe just
Mm-mm.
one more day. Maybe tomorrow, if I'm free, if you can find me, if you're lucky. So you're ready to change this right
No.
now? All right. So,
Yes.
and if it was to change, how would you be responding differently when she says those things to you? With that tone of voice?
Um, it was, I usually keep a pretty level head.
All right,
I'm
but you're pretty level, but you still
in
let her
my,
change your schedule.
yeah, because I get to
Okay.
feeling
Okay.
bad.
So you get to
That's the whole
feeling
thing.
bad. Well, let's slow you down for a moment here before we try to see. You're playing dodgeball, and you're good at this game. Like in the Matrix, it's going. All right, but you do get to feeling bad, and that affects your schedule now. When you can remember the last time that happened? Think about the worst time, or the worst time most recently that happened, when she said something to you and that altered your schedule. All right. Can you remember the specific time, though? You don't need to know exactly when it was, but you can remember the memory of when that happened?
It was because I needed to.
All right. And you can remember that. And as you remember that, do you see yourself in the memory, or are you kind of reliving it? Do you get the feelings back, or you see yourself in it? All right. And when you see yourself in it, what adjective would you just use to describe that person who looks like you over there?
I'm tired of putting out
so
fires.
you stepped into it there. So you're tired. So you're actually in it in that moment. So you step into it. And so you're tired of putting out fires. And as you kind of step out of it and look at her over there. So I want you to kind of close your eyes for a minute, right? And I want you to go into that memory, into that person who's tired of putting out fires. All right. There you go. Awesome. And what I want you to do is I want you to kind of float your awareness outside of yourself so that you can kind of look at it and give yourself some distance from the situation. All right. And as you do that and you look at that person who looks and sounds like a little bit of a younger you, the you last week over there, and she is tired of putting out fires, right? You can see it on her face. All right. And as you look at her over there, what adjective how would you describe her? What does she look like to you? How would you describe her? She is angry. Cool.
Angry.
Awesome. And from out here, as you look at that angry her over there, do you have any of the anger now, or can you kind of look at it pretty cleanly? And as you look at it pretty cleanly, what can you learn from looking at her over there, having that conversation, that angry her over there, having that conversation with her mother? Just say no. All right. How does that settle? If you were to just say no, would that work? Or you need something else? What else do you need? As you look at her over there and watch her just say no, and to keep playing out the memory, she needs something else. What else does she need? Awesome. And my question is, was there ever a time when you had courage in your life? Okay, you said that pretty strongly. And if this courage had a color, for example, what color would this courage be that you're feeling right now? Purple. And if you were to kind of shoot this purple courage into her over there with that ability to just say no and fill her up with this courage, how does she respond differently?
She would say,
all right,
no.
And you seem much more congruent that time. Is she able to handle the situation? Are you sure?
Yeah.
I don't believe you.
I'm sure.
Maybe she can't.
You know what? I've been really working on my ability to say no without an explanation. And like lately, like she changed my schedule the other day, and it was something that was kind of impaired. And I was like, I do probably need to address this, even though I had to do it. But lately,
let me ask you something. If you go back into that memory now with this purple courage, and you replay this memory like this, how does it play out? Does it play out better?
It plays out
Okay.
like
My
that.
next question is as you do this in this way, and you said before, I can't do it this way anymore. Is that what you said? What do you say this
Right.
time?
Probably, I probably would say, it's something I can't address right now.
Mhm.
Maybe later. It's something I need to address
And
later.
as you say that, are you fully aligned with that? And as you think about the implications on your family, on your relationship with your mother, on your health, on your business, how does that settle? Are you aligned with it? Are you
I'm
sure?
good with
Are you
that.
good, or are you aligned with it? It's a difference. Words are powerful
So
because
yeah,
you.
yeah.
I would align me
My
with
question
it.
is, I guess my question is that I don't have to go and live with this decision. And Gerald doesn't have to, and John doesn't have to, and everyone else here who's listening to this till the end of time doesn't have to. This is your decision, if you understand. And so my question is this something
Right.
that you want to make?
Oh yeah.
All right. And so, and if you just kind of imagine now moving out into the future with this decision, how does that settle? So the next time that she says that to you, how do you respond? Like that?
I would respond that, I can't do that right now. That's not, I have things.
Maybe she could change her mind.
aligned.
Maybe she could just throw you back into that old pattern because, she's the puppet master. She controls your schedule.
Nah, I'm pretty much, my schedule is really tight lady now too.
No.
Nah.
So you're fully aligned with this?
I can't do it.
This was
I'm
valuable
in full
for you?
alignment with that.
All right. And I'm
Yes.
going to give you the second 5 minutes free.
It's a little secret.
What was the most valuable thing you're going to take away from that 10 minutes?
It didn't even feel like 10 minutes. That's crazy. I think the most valuable thing that I would take from that is, is making a decision and sticking with it, really.
Yes.
And when you do that, what does that say about yourself as a person? Who are you that can do that?
I'm myself. It's I own my time. I own what I do. So
you own yourself and you own what you do.
So that really it makes me think about it differently.
Right. And above all else, understand that you owe it to you to do what's best for you. And you have a right to be successful, and that nobody can stop you from doing that but you. So to reframe all of that thinking, own your greatness, own your purpose, and live that. And it gives a bigger place of peace. Go ahead, Jason. I'm sorry.
Do you have any kids?
No,
if you
I
did
don't
have
children.
kids and you weren't able to control your behavior and you responded the way that your mother responds, would you want them to change their schedule for you? All right, I was just wondering.
I've already made a decision, and whenever I do, or if I do have children, that I believe that it only takes one generation to change a habit or a pattern in a family, and the buck stops here.
Ladies and gentlemen, you heard it on the air.
The buck stops. I can't do it. I would not. I don't want my children to experience the things that I experienced in my childhood.
Exactly. And if you don't want that for them, then it has to start with you, and which means you owe them that commitment to do what you need to do now. You see, right now, because that's all you have. Tomorrow's not promised, and yesterday is gone. All you got is now. So from right now, from this very moment, with that smile on your face, what are you going to do differently tomorrow? Starting right now. Yeah, because you're going to carry this through tomorrow with the smile. See, that's what you need, because that's the energy. See, if people forget how important the energy it takes is, because commitment is vital to success. And during the exercise, I didn't say anything because Jason was working with you, and to work with two coaches at the exact same time is like chaos because it's too much input. But the thing is, you were not committed. You were toying with the idea. You were thinking through instead of feeling through. Because when your heart gets into it, it doesn't matter what you're thinking. And I can see the look on your face right now. You know that. Once you feel it and you own that, the thinking goes out the window. So what you're trying to do is connect it to something inside of you so you can feel it. But you were still trying to think through. Don't think through. Feel, then do. And once you do, everything's going to change anyway. So that's what I wanted to add. And I see Jason's got some stuff. And I got to welcome my brother John Haynes, Mr. Regeneration, is in the seat with us too. So that would be my advice, sis. Stop thinking.
No, go ahead. I'm sorry, brother. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, go ahead, please.
No, I just wanted to make an observation, Jason. That was brilliant work. And Mosaic, hey, you were Mosaic Star. I'm sorry, you were brave to go through this type of exercise, and I just wanted to make a couple of observations. So it's apparent to me that you still haven't chosen yourself, and when you were talking about your mom being able to impact your schedule, you said no, you control the schedule, but you still at the end of your statements left an in for her to reestablish control and get back in your schedule. And then when we talked about your kids and the next generation, you were so much stronger then, which let me know that you chose your kids in that scenario. But you still, to me, and you watch the playback, you still have not chosen you. And it's to me, it's okay for you to choose yourself and for your mother to be disappointed in you and to be disappointed overall. She's grown, she will get over it, and you just happen to be the middle ground and the teacher in that respect. You know, you shouldn't have to do it, but you are. And so you have to establish the boundaries, and you got to put on your oxygen mask first, or your schedule will never be your own. It just won't.
Yeah. And you know, it's a struggle. And us, it's a battle, almost like a battleground, because my mom was a little high strung, and like she would cuss you out on drop of a dime.
Yeah.
It's like sometimes I go with it to avoid the conflict, but lately I've been in a place where I'm like, no, I can't do that. I have deadlines to meet. It's holiday season. This is a big season for me as far as business. So it's like I'm at that point. I'm at my end. I'm almost at the end of my rope, like with her.
Okay. Let me throw something. Let me make it a little bit tougher here. Imagine the attitude that your mother may get. Imagine it as a fist. Imagine it as a strike. Imagine it as a physical strike. Oh, she went away. Or is that me?
No, she's audio only right now.
Okay. What I was gonna say.
I don't know if she's there though. Are you there, Mosaic? Yeah, she kicked out fully.
Hello? I think she.
Yeah, she might be gone.
All right.
But you all get my point. What I was trying to make is that it feels like, it almost feels like abuse, like how that relationship is, and how she's not in control, and how she responds constantly in one way or another to giving up herself.
Yeah, she is literally mentally being held back by the concern that she will disappoint her mom.
Yeah,
she lives her life her way, which is a problem a lot of people have. You know, a lot of people have that challenge because they always think about their parents and not wanting to disappoint them. But in the end, if you don't live your life for you and do what you were called to do, the disappointment will still fall on them because they always feel like you didn't live the way you were meant to live. So I guess we got to wrap up at 9:30, and so we can go off the record. I want to thank you, Jason, so much, brother, for coming to hang out with us here on Great O'Clock. I think it's only like I think this might be the first time I had you on Great O'Clock.
I think so, yeah.
You know, this was really cool and awesome. And John, man, always, brother, and you know, just always supportive, always here, always doing your thing.
No
Great
choice, brother.
Let's do this. John, can you tell the people how to find you, get in contact with you, and you know, when your next blab is?
Yeah, man. So I'm on Facebook and Twitter at Regeneration LBC. You can find me on Instagram and my About Me page at John Haynes III for the 3rd. And the first blab is tomorrow night with Big Gerald DuBose at 8 p.m. It's called The Anatomy of a Bad Coach. And the intent of that call is really we become enamored with what a coach can give us to be the cheerleader and to be the motivator and to be the inspirer. And we fall in love with those things, but we don't look at what we don't need from a coach and when the situation goes bad. So we want to just cover the other side of it. So when you're looking for a coach, when you have a coach, you see the complete aspects of that coach and you're able to make an educated decision and a real decision about that relationship that you actually need. So that's what we'll be talking about tomorrow night.
Awesome. Looking forward to that, man. Really looking forward to that.
Really,
Jason, can you tell the people how they can get in touch with you and how to find you? And then we have a special announcement, or are you going to make the announcement, sir?
Well, we could go either way here. So if you want to find me, you can check me out at perceptionacademy.com. I train people in NLP and neurosemantics online. And you want to make the announcement or either way?
You can make the announcement. I'll follow it up. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. So and also me and Gerald have a webinar coming up. It's a really exciting webinar. I'm looking for the link right now where we're going to be teaching our top 5 ways using NLP, neurolinguistic programming, and transformational language patterns for you to take your business and your selling to the next level. So Gerald just dropped the link in there. You saw how powerful this stuff is for personal development. Well, imagine how much this can help you to take your business to the next level when it comes to communicating with your employees, if you have employees, your coworkers, or your manager, if you are an employee, with your customers, if you're selling them and you're an entrepreneur. So just all around with your clients and in your day-to-day life and all this stuff, it's stuff you can take with you, you know, to your family life and your personal relationships as well.
Awesome. And I am Gerald DuBose, of course. If you would like to get in touch with me, you can find me on Twitter at Gerald D, the letter D, NWO, all together. That's my handle on Twitter, at Gerald D, NWO. If you would like to get in contact with me, my website outside of Twitter, my actual website is thenewwealthorder.com, THE, newwealthorder.com. And that's how you can connect with me. But this webinar that we are doing, people, for all of you watching the replay and the people that are still left in this room, is something really near and dear to my heart. It's a way for us to give back. You know, it's very important, and people forget how important it is to be able to sell in your business, because sales is what keeps the doors open. But the problem a lot of people have is effectively communicating what they do in a manner that people can understand, that allow them to want to take action with them. So this is what this training is about. And we're talking about how you use neurolinguistics in order to do that, transformational language patterns, reframes and framing and guidance through questions and all of those things on that 2-hour call. It is going to be a phenomenal experience. It's just something, it's something you got to be part of. I mean, if you are interested in NLP, if you want to learn more about it, if you want to learn more about TLP, this is an opportunity and an affordable way for you to be exposed to it. I mean, we're going to give 5 tips. We're going to give it's a bonus session where you get an hour worth of coaching individually the following week. So it's really a great value for what the price is. The investment, rather. It's not even a price. It's not about making money. It's an investment. It's an investment in yourself It's an investment in bettering your business, which in turn is an investment in bettering the world around you and the world for us as a whole. So, again, there is the link to the site right there, the registration page. It's happening in 4 days, people. In 4 days.
Yeah, sign up now. Check it out. I mean, I'll guarantee it. Shoot, if you don't like it, it's definitely going to be the value there. You'll get your money back, real quickly. Just small investment, well worth it.
So, with that being said, I'm going to close this recording. I thank you all for being part of Great O'Clock. I'll close this as I always do with you choose what type of life you have by the choices that you make. So I hope you all choose